Libya faces a full-blown humanitarian disaster after deadly flooding that decimated the city of Derna just over a week ago. It's still unknown how many people have died as a result of two dams bursting, but the United Nations has revised a previous death toll of more than 11,000. They now cite the World Health Organization's figure of nearly 4,000 lives lost. It comes amid rising criticism about late warnings from Libya's governments about the storm, as well as information on the port maintenance of the destroyed dams. CNN's Larry Madowo is following all the developments from Nairobi, Kenya. Larry, good to have you with us. The UN radically revising its death toll numbers from the catastrophic floods. There continues to be conflicting information about the number of casualties. Why?
So there are multiple sources of these numbers, and the UN initially cited the Libyan Red Crescent, but the Libyan Red Crescent then disowned those numbers, 11,300 who were reported to have died in the eastern Libyan city of Derna. After that, the UN now revising those numbers drastically to 3,958, citing the World Health Organization. They say they go off verified numbers from credible organizations on the ground, but after that disowning by the Libyan Red Crescent, they have gone to this new number from the World Health Organization. But I think the bigger picture here is whether it's 11,300 people dead or 3,958 is still an unspeakable tragedy. Those are family members, entire families washed into the Mediterranean. There are neighborhoods that no longer exist after this serious flooding following the two dams that burst, essentially overwhelmed by the waters of Storm Daniel. So the numbers might be changing in flux, partly because of the difficulty of assessing the extent and the scale of the damage, but it's still an unspeakable tragedy.
It is indeed. And more questions now, Larry, are being raised about the lethal combination of factors that led to the devastation in Derna surroundings.
That's right. The head of the UN support mission in Libya has told CNN that preparedness could have saved lives. Maybe it could not have been avoidable, but some lives could have been saved. The problem here is that Libya is so deeply fractured. There are two competing governments, one in Tripoli backed by the international community, and the other in the west led by the rebel Khalifa Haftar, and they cannot agree. So another problem, the crumbling infrastructure. These dams were from the 70s, were not properly maintained, and the warnings were not taken seriously. And all of these things combined, this is a country that's been in conflict for more than a decade. So with about 40,000 people displaced, they're the big problem here. Some of them could be exposed to landmines and explosive ordnance of war. So it's just a combination of factors that make this a once-in-a-lifetime event and a once-in-a-lifetime tragedy.
Larry Madowo in Nairobi. Thank you so much, Larry.